Today, we have a very special guest with us. Dr. Renu Khator, our chancellor and president, has joined us to discuss just the future of the powerhouse and her story. So, Dr. Khator, welcome.
Thank you. Really delighted to be here.
Beautiful. Okay, so you have a very powerful story, one that a lot of people probably wouldn't expect. So I think we should start there.
Okay.
Who is Dr. Renu Khator and where did she come from?
Well, I'm just a very average person, and coming really from humble background, as I consider myself in different ways. So I was born and brought up in India, in a very small town, and in a family where, at that time, women's education wasn't that important. And definitely a career was not in any kind of cards. And I think sometimes just a destiny takes its own place. When I was 18 years old, my parents arranged my marriage. And I didn't know until even 12 hours before. And I was studying in a master's program at that time. I had already finished my bachelor's. And that same day, I was engaged. 10 days later, I was married to a man I had never seen before. And then, since he was in the United States 10 days later, or whatever time it took in trying to get a passport, because I had never even sat in a plane, I was here with him. And he was studying at Purdue University, so I started my journey right here in West Lafayette, Indiana, with no knowledge of English, and so far away from parents, with no Facebook, FaceTime, no even capacity to call. It was pretty traumatic from that angle, but it just never felt traumatic, because it just from day one, this place just felt like really land of opportunity. And I just was so fortunate to marry a person who was even more ambitious about my future than I was myself. And just journey turned out wonderfully. America gave me an opportunity that I never would have thought for myself. I mean, I just didn't have the horizons so big to even dream that big at that time. But after coming here, enormous amount of mentoring, great opportunities, wonderful people, and today I'm just very fortunate to be part of the Cougar Nation, and just a wonderful blessing in life.
Yes, well, we are definitely blessed to have you lead us. So how did your dreams change from, you were going to college, getting your master's? What were your expectations at that point, and how have they changed now?
So when I started to go to college, which is at Purdue University, so I mean, immediately after he was 19 and didn't know English, of course, and I said I wanted to continue my education, and I couldn't even speak, so it was really tough. I still recall very well the conversation that my husband and I had with the graduate advisor, and he was translating everything what was going on because I couldn't speak. And at that time, the advisor at Purdue just thought, I mean, this is a very strong-willed person. He just couldn't figure out how else to get rid of me. So he said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Let you sit in class, no admission, no promise, just let you sit in 2 classes and let's see how you do, because he thought he'll never see me again. I honestly do believe that. However, I just had a dream, and that's why I believe so strongly in dreams. I tell everybody, dreams have power. Just dream big.
Absolutely.
So I just started watching television to teach myself English, and I watched 8 hours of television a day, every episode of I Love Lucy or Andy Griffith Show, you name it, I can tell you. And then I just wrote probably 8 drafts of every research paper that was given in that graduate class. I mean, I worked so hard. It was just because I had this dream that I can do it, I want to do it. I have this opportunity, and at the end of the semester, I had both A grades, and the committee sat and just said, okay, what do we do with her now? So we got to give her admission. So that's how I got. And so at that time still, the reason I was there was because of my dream of getting the highest degree possible, because I couldn't dream anything more. But I believe very strongly that dreams evolve, and you have to allow your dreams to evolve as your horizons expand and your capacities expand and you meet more wonderful, inspiring people. So after I finished my PhD, and I had 2 little daughters too at that time, and my husband followed with my dream because I said I want to do PhD, so he said that was fine. And then I joined the University of South Florida on a 9-month faculty position because they wanted my husband, and they just simply gave me a spousal contract for 9 months. And at that point in time, I never ever would have thought, never in, like, I didn't have capacity to dream that I would ever be in this position where I am today. However, I do believe you just put your heart and soul in it, and just don't worry about what's going to happen next, because I feel if you do put your heart and soul in something, you have passion for something, doors and windows will open. But just have the courage at that time to walk through that door or to peek out that window that opens. And I think for me, I was very fortunate because I did have my husband to always dream with me. And if I was afraid of walking out that door or taking that new opportunity, he always said, oh yes, you can do it. And so just dreams, I would say, continue to evolve. But I think coming to Houston, even at that time, I never thought where this university could be in 9 years. I mean, it's 8.5 years for me here. I knew the reason I came here was because I knew more was possible for the University of Houston, because it's in a great dynamic place. Houston, I mean, wow, if you want to do something, you want to have a dream, you want to build something, this is the place to do. Absolutely. So I came here because of that capacity of Houston to build a dream here, not because where university was. At that time, I didn't even know much about the university. So I came here with that desire to fight, with that dream that something is possible. But obviously the dream evolved as I talked to people here. And but I think where we are today is really because of the people who took ownership, who became part of the dream, who helped me refine my dream, who helped me see things, the faculty, the staff, the students, the alumni, the donors who have opened their pocketbooks, and most definitely the city of Houston. I mean, I believe if you're building a great university, you got to build it with the community, you got to build it with the city, you have to sync your synergies with the needs of the city. And I think that's what we have done. We're building energy, we're building in the area of health, we're building in the area of arts, and sure enough, people have come out to help us. So I would say my dream has definitely evolved. Where is it today? I just think there's a more capacity for the university to grow, and that's the reason that keeps me here, keeps me extremely excited to be here. I just still feel as passionate, as excited about coming to work as I did my first day, because the possibilities seem there, and I still see the possibilities here.
Wow, wow. Yes, the passion is definitely radiating right now. So I also came here without even knowing what I was going to do. U of H really formed the pavement and the path for my future. I wanted to go home at the second week, and for some reason, I just said, push it through, go find some friends, and figure out what your dream is. And I think that's a really big issue for some students, is that they're kind of scared about coming somewhere and not having a plan, and they just kind of, they know what passion is and what their dream is, but in this day and age, a lot of people do tell you that you can't make it, you can't do it. And so I think that talking about the importance of following your dreams and following your heart is such a great idea and such a great point in life. So your passion has definitely expanded this university. I mean, even in the 8 years, you can see the difference, you can feel the difference. And I just want to talk about some of the future plans that you have for the university, as far as major developments in construction. We have some construction going up now, and we also have some major colleges being developed. So let's talk about those and how.
Sure. So, you know, university presidency is generally defined in a 7-year time period. So I feel like I'm in my second presidency, except I'm at the same place. So the agenda had to be different. And as I finished the 7 years, I went through a lot of thinking, a lot of reflections, and again, a lot of talking with the people. And one of the things that came out was, okay, the university has become tier 1. What about the community? What about the neighborhood? And I felt when I came here, the university didn't have that inner strength to stand up and say, okay, we're ready to now go out and help. Let the neighborhood, you know, lead itself, and we will help to become what it can be. So I think for this 7 years, one of my very close passions is about what we can do for our neighborhood. It's a great historic neighborhood, and I have spent a whole lot of time in the 3rd ward, which I did not spend my first 7 years, but I've spent now after my 7 years. Because when you have to adopt something, you have to know it, you have to own it, you have to feel it in your heart. And the only way to do that is to be there. So I spend time, I go out to eat there, I go out just to see things, to talk to people, to places like Change Happen. And I think the leaders there have a vision. I think we just need to go out there and help neighborhoods. So one of the things we are doing is seeing what assets we have here. And the assets we have is definitely educational. But what assets we have is the passion of our students and the commitment of our faculty. We realized that we were doing so much outside anyway in the 3rd ward, but the thing is it impactful? Is it targeted? Is it strategic? And I think that's what we have organized now. So we are doing work in the area of education. We have 6 public schools who have been, these schools have been perpetually failing schools. And our faculty and staff and students have committed to take these schools and convert them into passing schools, because education is the first thing toward empowerment.
Absolutely.
Then we are doing also about health, because the indicators tell us that the population of the neighborhood can be a lot better doing simple things that are just not being done. So our people are out there, the health-related departments and colleges and faculty, saying, okay, what can we do about raising the level of healthy population or health awareness in the neighborhood. Then we are looking, and we have some programs going on for helping people build their own small businesses and giving some job training. And finally, it's about preserving the history and culture. Because any developer comes there to an area, and the last thing on the mind is about history and the culture, and about keeping people there. Mm-hmm. So the value that university brings to anything 3rd ward wants to do, and if that value we can bring to the table, I think that would be just phenomenal, which is, number 1, have the commitment of not displacing people. Develop, help its development grow, but without displacing people, because if we did that, well, anybody could have done that. Second thing, what really becomes important is the preserving its own heritage. And I think we are the repository of so much of historical things here, and here, this is our neighborhood. So I think those 4 things, if we can do that without displacing people, keeping the heritage and culture, following the lead of the people in the neighborhood, not saying we know what we should happen there. I think you're going to see that as a big initiative for us this year. It's already started in January, but it's going to be a lot more. Then we are, of course, we have two new colleges coming. One is the College of the Arts, and that's going to start already. We are looking for dean, founding dean. We have endowment for the founding dean's position. Okay. Second one is going to be the hobby school for public policy, which is a self-standing status. So those are the 2. Then we are also in exploration for our College of Medicine, because that is our health trend. And what we had said that was we are going to bring a lot of different health programs, including College of the Medicine. And why? Simply because there is a health disparity. There are people who do not have access to health care, and certain neighborhoods and certain communities, despite everything going on, excellent medical schools we still have people who do not have access. So what can we do to have community-based medicine? What can we do to have community-based clinics that actually take care of the preventive and primary care for people? So that is the goal. And I have charged a committee. We are developing a business plan to try to see, can we come up with a different model for training medical students who will actually, at the end of their training, would do just exactly that, which is try to prevent diseases and do primary care in community-based centers. And I think it's a great cause. If we come up with that, that will be a phenomenal contribution. And but you know, is it first time? May not be. Maybe. Do I know what's going to come out? Probably not at this point. But I know what goal is right, because that goal has come in our conversations with our neighbors too. Because our third ward, I mean, you look at it, there isn't much of healthcare access. So what can we do which is right? It's not about bragging points. We want to do things that are right. So I think you're going to see that happening. Of course, we have finished, since I came here, we have been on our $1.5 billion of construction plan. 800 million is complete. Another 700 million worth of construction projects have been approved by the board. So you're going to see a lot of things coming up here. You're going to also see us having programs go out in Katy, because we are starting a campus in Katy. We're putting a building there. Beautiful. We've just purchased land in Katy. We're going to be expanding in Sugar Land, 22 programs from U of H going in Sugar Land, so people don't have to travel. They can take courses there, or they can take one class there, one class on main campus, one class on internet, you know, online.
And from what I understand, we will also have transportation to go from one campus to the other at all times.
Yes, that's all in the works, because we want to grow, but we want to grow with Houston. And you want to think about where people are going to be, because traveling is, you know, it's not easy, you know.
Especially in Houston.
Right. And then, so you're going to see a lot of other projects, but one of the big projects on this campus that is coming is a biomed and health sciences building. And that building is going to be the bigger building than our stadium, which people think is the biggest project we did, but this building is even bigger.
Little did you guys know.
And so that's coming, and also at the same time, because we know when students come here, first time that what they spend time is really in the general education courses. And some of these courses are in the buildings that are not very glamorous, but these are the buildings that have become quite old and they need renovation. So we have taken a project called the Core Project. We're going to renovate 6 buildings that are in the core of the university.
Okay.
And so you're going to see a whole lot of new things coming, and the basketball arena, and you know, just lots of different things. So it's an exciting time.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Dr. Khator, let's talk about the Big 12. What would it mean for the University of Houston to receive an invite from a major Power 5 conference like the Big 12? And how does that, how will it affect the idea of, we just got into the American Athletic Conference. So what, 2 years ago? Right. So we're already trying to shoot for bigger. that's not unlike us, but what would that mean to you?
So first of all, we are already a big program. Preseason polls just come out for football, and we are ranked 13th, and we are playing with the 3rd ranked Oklahoma right here in Houston, NRG Stadium with 70,000 capacity, which is almost sold out. So to say that, you know, we are anything but a power program already would be under statement from anybody. So I'm very proud of our athletics where we are today. Great facilities, exciting coaches, great winning record, and a great trajectory. So from day one when I've come here, my passion and goal has been to build a nationally competitive institution here, academically, but also athletically, because I do know what an important role athletics plays. Other than being a crazy football fan and basketball and baseball and you name it, I am absolutely a crazy fan, but it is so important for the institution. So if you're going to have a program, have it an excellent one. You just cannot settle for mediocrity. So getting into a league such as Big 12, for instance, because there's a lot of talk right now, and our name is being floated for Big 12. Big 12 has decided that they might expand. So in that context, I think the most important thing that getting into a power conference, Big 12, would be for our student athletes. They work so hard. They have dreams. I mean, they are really worthy of playing with the best. They are playing on the national platform. They should be playing in a nationally competitive context. So what I want is for them is to have an experience that is second to none. And I think getting into Big 12 will give our athletes an opportunity to show their skills, show their talent against some of the best teams. And I think it would be inspiring for them. Yeah. I think at the same time, it's going to be really important for university to realize its full potential. I know people could take, they can argue with me saying, well, athletics doesn't have anything to do with academics. The fact is, it does. Our students, they feel pride, they feel bonded, they want to feel special, and they want to be pitched against the best.
Oh, yeah.
And our alumni want to feel the same way. Our donors, they get excited about it. So the thing is, if you're trying to build a university to the very top level, you're taking it there, athletics plays a very important role. You cannot have a mediocre, a weak athletics program and think that you're going to have an outstanding institution. Definitely, it's not happening in the state of Texas. So I think for us to get there is going to be very good for Houston. City of Houston. It's exciting to have a team in Houston that is playing in the very top, leagues. Of course, yeah, you can have teams that are reside in other cities, but wouldn't you love to have your own team too? So I think it's good for Houston. It's good for our alumni. I think it's great for our students and for, I bet you, their engagement with the school, their pride in the school, their engagement and pride in their studies, everything gets impacted. So I would say this is an exciting opportunity for the University of Houston to showcase itself again on the national platform. So I want to just thank everybody in the city and anybody who writes in favor of the University of Houston, because we are a great program and a great asset to anybody right now.
Absolutely, and we are united, that's for sure.
Yes.
Last question I have for you is, what advice would you give future students or current students that are just kind of maybe in that limbo stage of not knowing where to go, or
right.
Where should I go next, or what should I do?
Right. The first thing I'll say is, if I could do it, coming as a very average person with so many different limitations, and just relying on the dreams, I think they can do it too. They definitely can do it. Look for the power that's inside of you. Don't just feel victim. Yes, we do. I mean, life hasn't been fair. If I start counting for you today, I could probably tell you many, many times. But the thing is, when you get victimized, you are done wrong. I just believe in what Maya Angelou said, that you have two choices. You can either just say that you're a victim and just give up, or you say, oh, I'm going to fight. And I'm going to try to change it for myself, for others. I would tell the students, which I say to freshmen, so I don't know if you know this or not, but when freshmen come the first week of fall semester, I go visit at least 25 or more classes where freshmen are. The reason for me is because I don't want to call them in a big stadium and say, hey, hi, how are you, good, good, all of that. I want to see them in a much more intimate setting, and to be able to tell them that you have come here with a plan. You have not come here to drop out. You have not come here to quit. And if you have come here with a plan, let's just commit today, you and I both, that we're going to make you successful. I know it can be very difficult at times, but do not give up. If you know what your dream is, you will find the courage that will give you the fuel to keep moving toward that dream. Just don't give up. But then I also tell those freshmen, which is if you are running into a problem and you come to a point where you feel, oh, I can't do anything, I'm frustrated, then at least give me a chance, which means you write to me an email, send me an email at rkhator@uh.edu, or you can send it president@uh.edu. Everybody can remember. And I promised to them that I would get their issue resolved in 3 days so that they can move forward, whether it's to do with this or it's about course or about, whatever it is. Now, of course, sometimes they write to me things I can't do, but most of the time, our people are so good. They're committed to students. And when the email comes to me, it doesn't mean it's coming to me. It's just coming as a challenge to the whole administration. And it is directed to the right people. It gets resolved. At least that's what we try.
Beautiful.
So I would just tell the students, don't give up. First of all, dream big. Dreams have power, and do not give up.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Your words definitely have had a lot of power today, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate all your hard work and your effort. So
Thank you.
I think on behalf of all of the University of Houston, we are happy to have you as our chancellor.
Thank you, and I'm very blessed to be part of this. This is the best place to be, and I do feel that.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with us.
Sure. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.